My name is Father Albert. I'm from a traditional Dominican community in Belgium, the Dominicans of the Holy Rosary. And I'm here at the Fatima Center to answer some of your questions. What would you say to someone who is embarrassed about going to confession to help them be less nervous? First of all, it's perfectly normal to be embarrassed when you go to confession. We should be embarrassed when we go to confession, because we should be ashamed of our sins, and to say them out loud to someone else is embarrassing. If you're not embarrassed when you go to confession, you're not doing it right. That's part of being sorry for our sins, is being ashamed of them. And it's also part of the punishment that is due to sin, is this shame that we have for having sinned. Spiritual authors say if we weren't ashamed to commit the sin, well, we should not be ashamed to suffer the humiliation which is due to it. It's something that's perfectly normal. We should remember as well, when we go to confession, what we say to the priest, in fact, we say to the priest insofar as he is God, is what St. Thomas says. What the priest hears in confessional, he hears as God, says St. Thomas, because he hears it in the name of God. It's not insofar he is as a man that we're saying these things to him. It's insofar as he takes the place of God. So a priest, what he hears in confession, he hears as God. And so he cannot speak of what he hears in confession to anyone else, even to you. If he wants to speak to you outside of confession about something you told him in confession, he has to ask your permission first. And he has to be prudent even about doing that, because in theology we say he must not render the sacrament odious. It is, he mustn't, because if the priest did that too often, people would end up being a little bit hesitant about saying things to him in confession because, well, maybe he's going to talk to me about it afterwards, and it's embarrassing. Okay, so the Church takes measures in the instructions it gives to priests about the way they should administer the sacrament, to make sure that this embarrassment is limited to the confessional itself. A priest has no right to speak to you about even to you about what you've told him in confession, and much less, obviously, to anyone else. Even, for example, if someone confesses a very grave sin, murder, for example, the priest cannot speak about it to anyone else. And St. Thomas says if someone asks him directly about it, did this person commit this murder, the priest can say, or he can say no, because he's being asked insofar as he is a man, not insofar as he is God. So, no, he didn't tell me that he committed this murder. That is, insofar as I am a man. But insofar as I was God, yes, but that's not what the question you're asking me is. You're asking me insofar as I am a man. So a priest can say, no, he didn't say he committed this murder. Normally what he does, in fact, if anyone asks a priest about anything was told him in confession, he says, I can't tell you. I can't speak about that. But in a certain, in fact, he could, as St. Thomas says, he could say, well, no, he didn't say that to me. So there's no worry about anything you say in confession. A priest cannot reveal it to anyone. And if he ever were to, he would be, you commit a mortal sin. And there's even canonical sanctions for a priest who does that. I hope that answers your question. Pray to Our Lady to enlighten you, to help you. May God bless you.